Hello and welcome to the show. Now, one thing we constantly see while travelling around the country is that every property has its own unique story.
Yes, and if you know what the story is in your local area, it should give you an advantage. Knowledge is key, especially local knowledge. So why not pop down to your local auction and see what's on offer. Once you've decided to buy a property at auction, go and see it, read the legal pack, and then do some research.
Hopefully that's what today's buyers did, although it's not always the case, definitely not. Let's find out what they got.
In Wolverhampton, it's hard to find fault with this house. Look at it. Nothing on my finger whatsoever.
Whereas I check out a property in Streatham, London, and find a surprise. I wasn't expecting this. It's an extra set of stairs. I wonder where it goes.
And in Crewe, I find a house that also has much more to offer. Quite excited about this one. All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid when they went under the hammer.
You bought it. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm in Streatham, a district in South London. If you're someone where time is of the essence, then the location of today's property could be right for you. I'm around a 10-minute walk from Streatham Common Station, which takes you to London Victoria Station in precisely 18 minutes. Hey, every minute counts when you're commuting in London. Now, this is the property I'm here to see. It's a 3-bed mid-terrace, which had a guide price of £385,000 plus. Let's go look. The first thing to note is there's off-road parking. That's a big plus point in London. Inside too, a wider hall than I'd expected. It feels almost echoey. Yes, you've got a lot of room here, not the best of paint finishes on this stair. You have a really good sized reception room here. Double glazing looks to be in good order too. And then your kitchen is pretty pokey. I've seen smaller, but enough to get your appliances in, but you want to rip it out through to another reception room. Now, I'm thinking straight away, why not take this wall down? It's a load-bearing wall, so it's not the easiest of jobs, and you'd always want to consult a structural engineer. Maybe too often we talk about knocking walls down, but here it feels a bit disjointed. You'd have to go out your door and right through into this pokey wee kitchen, so let's make it a bit bigger. I'd take that down. Through to... This is interesting. I didn't expect this. So you've got an extension here, a bit of a kind of sunroom, and through there you've got a place to kick off your muddy boots or put the dishwasher, whatever you want to do. But this feels a little bit makeshift. It actually feels like my bedroom covered in pine in the 1980s, or a sauna. But why not start again? Knock this down. Think about putting in new foundations, make sure it's insulated well, and just create something a bit more solid.
Start all over again and take it day by day. Start all over again.
And if you combined it with that small kitchen and the back reception room, you could create a big kitchen diner. Patio doors out to the garden, yeah, could be good. Upstairs, and first up you come to your bathroom. Good news, you've got a bathroom on this floor. You know, there's enough room to have your shower in a bath. Then you've got a good-sized double bedroom, a second good-sized double bedroom, and then, yeah, a pretty pokey bedroom. Actually, it's teeny tiny bedroom. But look, I wasn't expecting this. It's an extra set of stairs. I wonder where it goes. What what do we have here? Well, we have something that looks like it could be a bedroom. It feels like it could be a bedroom, but clearly it doesn't conform to the regulations you need to be able to market it as a bedroom. My feeling is that you just don't have enough head height. It's okay for me, but there are lots of people who are taller than me. And also, these stairs, especially at the top of the stairs, are too steep. But you could think about getting a dormer window in here. That would give you lots more feeling of space, and you'd have some more headroom. Also, you have a ready-made shower room. It's your ensuite, so that needs a bit of upgrading too, but this is just a big bonus. The house definitely gives a bit more from the inside than you'd guess from the outside. Don't be fooled, there's an awful lot of work to be done here. What does a local estate agent think should be the priority to meet the requirements of the area?
I would say to probably knock it through to an open plan kitchen diner, new bathroom, probably check on a rewire, and probably a fourth bedroom with an ensuite shower.
Bedrooms in London definitely come at a premium. So what sort of values could this house that was guided at £385,000 plus command as a 3-bed, or with that loft room properly converted, a 4-bed?
This property would be able to sell in the current market for £475,000, as a 4-bedroom for £525,000.
And on the rental market?
As a rental, this property would achieve £1,700 per calendar month. As a 4-bedroom, it would achieve in the region of £1,900 per calendar month.
This property needs a lot of work, but that means there's room for improvement, like replacing that extension and properly converting the attic room into a 4th bedroom. So there's lots of potential. Let's find out who agreed when it went under the hammer.
It's a well-located, attractive mid-terrace house, requires modernisation. Anybody here for this one? 350 I'm looking for. 350, thank you. 350 I've got. 355. 355. 360. 360. 365. 365. 370.
The Streatham house was proving popular. We rejoin with bidding now at £421,000.
421. 423. 423. 425, round it off. 425, thank you. 427, nope. If not, bid's there. 425, bid there all along. 425 for the first, 425 for the second, 425 for the third, and final time. If we are all done, sold £425,000.
For £425,000, the Streatham house was bought mainly by Yasin, with some additional funding from a family member. Yasin runs an electronics firm that specialises in mobile phones. I met him back at the house to find out more. Yasin, hello, pleased to meet you.
Hi Martel, nice to see you.
Congratulations on your purchase.
Thank you very much.
You've got yourself quite a spacious house by London standards.
Yes, it's compared to what we've seen, it's quite a spacious house.
Yeah. Is this something you do? Is this a first for you, this development?
So yeah, this is this is the first time I'm doing it as a project through a business venture, and it's our first house that we bought via an auction.
And what was it about this area and this house that made you want this?
Okay, so we were looking, because I'm based in South London in Tooting, I was looking for something that's in an area that I can travel to very quickly, you know, maybe 15-20 minute commute. Especially if I'm planning to rent the property, it's good to be able to manage it and see what's going on and deal with tenants. So Streatham was one of the areas we looked at and fell within our budget range for a house.
So you said that your plan is to rent out to one family?
Initially, I was planning to buy the house to rent it as a whole house to a family. I did speak to a couple of friends that are in property business, and they advised me that with a nice 3-bed house like this, a terraced house, I could probably rent the rooms out individually if I redid the house and made the rooms en suite. So that's one of the things we're actually now strongly considering, and we're hoping to follow through with that project.
So Yasin is thinking of this as an HMO, or house of multiple occupancy. This certainly can be a good way of generating a bigger rental income, but it also comes with many more regulatory requirements, such as fire doors, alarm system, and communal spaces, amongst other things. It also needs a licence from the local authority before the house can then be used as an HMO. But if all goes to plan, he's hoping he will have 5 bedrooms to rent out. Tell me what the layout of this ground floor is going to be.
So the ground floor, we have 2 reception rooms at the moment and a extension that we're standing in. So the plan is to knock this extension down, extend out to the permitted amount we can allow, and we hope to put 2 bathrooms into this second reception room, one facing into the first reception room, so it makes an ensuite, and the second one into the second reception, which will be much bigger now because it'll go into the extension. We hope to have a large communal galley kitchen as well.
Upstairs, 1 floor to your first floor. Just now you've got 3 bedrooms. How is that going to change? You're going to change it into 2 bedrooms.
That's correct. So what will happen is the bathroom upstairs will become the ensuite for one of the rooms, and the small bedroom, the box room, will become the ensuite for the other room.
And then up to the top.
We will redo the stairs, redo the loft, and make a dormer, make it into a nice, big, spacious room with an ensuite.
What's the budget?
So the budget for the building work, we're expecting to do it within £150,000.
And what's your timescale for this?
It's very aggressive. I've told the builder we want to be done in 3 months. We've allowed a contingency of 2 to 4 weeks. So within 4 months, we want to be in a position where we're actually renting the property.
3 to 4 months is really going for it, but Yasin's a busy man and he wants to get it done. Not only does he have a business to run, he has 3 children and helps in the local community.
I run a football club for kids in the area, which is a community project we do. So any spare time I have, I dedicate to that.
Fantastic. So your weekdays are taken up with your own business?
Weekdays and some of the weekend.
And some of the weekend, and also at weekends you're doing kids football.
That's right, correct, yes.
So you're busy.
Very busy.
How are you going to fit this in?
So that's one of the things I've done is I've tried to get a very good builder in that hopefully can manage himself to an extent. And I've got a friend that I know who's going to project manage the whole project.
Best of luck, and I look forward to seeing the results.
Thank you very much, Martel. Thank you very much.
Yasin has all his plans in place, but this is a pretty ambitious first-time project. He has a healthy budget of 150 grand, but then there's a lot of work to do, and that's if everything goes to plan. Has he scored an own goal, or will he kick this property into shape in that optimistic 4-month timescale? You can find out later in the show.
Earlier we saw how one of our properties got on, but what about the other 2?
Did everything go to plan, or did the plans fall flat? Let's find out. Streatham in southwest London is where we first saw a 3-bed mid-terrace, which was surprisingly spacious. Look, it's an extra set of stairs. I wonder where it goes. What do we have here? Well, we have something that looks like it could be a bedroom. It feels like it could be a bedroom, but clearly it doesn't conform to the regulations. But this is just a big bonus.
I wasn't expecting that.
There was even an ensuite up here, but it would need some work before it could be truly considered as extra living space. And the extension at the back sort of fell into that category too. In fact, a rebuild seemed to me to be the best option. It was bought at auction for £425,000 by Yasin, with a little bit of financial input by another family member. And Yasin had an interesting plan for it.
Initially, I was planning to buy the house to rent it as a whole house to a family. I did speak to a couple of friends that are in property business, and they advised me that with a nice 3-bed house like this, a terraced house, I could probably rent the rooms out individually if I redid the house and made the rooms en suite. So that's one of the things we're actually now strongly considering, and we're hoping to follow through with that project.
That was a little unexpected too. Here was me thinking good-sized family house, whereas Yasin was thinking 5-bed HMO, house of multiple occupancy. But as a rental, you could see the logic in that. Yasin had a healthy budget of 150 grand and a pretty aggressive timescale of 3 to 4 months.
I wasn't expecting that.
And now, 5.5 months on, we're back. So off-road parking at the front, but it's the view from the back that should give us a clue on what progress we'll see inside. Well, a dormer extension on the roof and a rebuilt rear extension bodes well for inside.
So it was a 3-bedroom house, a standard terrace 3-bedroom house. And now as you come in, you have a bedroom on the left, which is the front reception room.
This is a good-sized room, complete with a small kitchen unit and a shower.
We have a bedroom at the back, which is the rear reception, which has gone into the extension.
It's a big room, and like all the rooms, it's en suite.
We have a nice long galley kitchen.
So this is the communal area in the house and has the benefit from access to the now paved garden area, which offers a practical space to maybe eat or rest in the summer months.
And then as you go onto the first floor, you had 2 bedrooms. They've now become both en suite.
With the small 3rd bedroom and the family bathroom no longer needed, the 2 bedrooms have been opened up to create those good-sized, lettable rooms.
And we've created a large bedroom in the loft with an ensuite as well.
The dormer makes so much difference, I reckon this room might be the most sought after. Yasin has one final bit of paperwork needed to get full certification as an HMO, but hopes he should get that next week. So, has there been anything alarming about this project, or was it all fairly straightforward?
So the rear extension, we thought it would be straightforward, but we did face some issues with the drains, and it meant that we had to do some underpinning. So that took a bit of extra time and extra money. We also opened up the rear extension, like this room that we're in now, where we put steel above. So it gives a nice big room here at the back.
It does indeed, but Yasin is a director of an online electronic company and doesn't have any particular building experience. So what was his involvement?
So I've been the bank. So I've been basically managing all the finances for the project, making sure that the builder's staying to plan, and also just coming regularly, inspecting the property and make sure everything's running smoothly. And I have had someone else deal with all the other side of things in terms of making sure all the regulations are met.
You might just be predominantly the money man, but I think that's the key role when it comes to property investment. It's critical to buy at the right price and to not overspend. So how is that 150 grand budget looking?
We haven't actually finalised all the figures, but we think we're coming in at the end of the whole project with all the furniture as well and all the fittings, probably around close to just around £140,000.
140 grand on top of a £425,000 purchase price does mean there's a fairly sizable 565 grand invested into this house. So what do 2 local estate agents make of this 5-bed house of multiple occupancy?
I think it's really good because what they've done is a very high standard for an HMO. So often we see ones which aren't done very well or aren't done to regulations or standard. This one is, if anything, overdone, which is great.
The property's been done up to a very, very nice standard. Just very nice, clean, airy, modern finish. It's definitely going to appeal to a lot of young professionals in the area.
Yasin was always looking at this as a rental vehicle, and it was that income that he was keen to maximise here. But with 565 grand invested to make the 5 lettable rooms, how would this house stack up in the current resale market?
This property would resell as an HMO for £500,000.
My estimations in terms of resale value would be offers in the region of around £510,000.
It's good to know what it's worth at the moment, but the price we paid and the renovation was obviously more than the valuation they've given. So we're obviously looking to rent it long term.
That's perhaps not surprising, given Yasin would be looking at a short-term loss of between £55,000 and £65,000. But as he says, this was very much a long-term thing.
On a room-by-room basis, this property would rent per room for £650 per calendar month.
Regards to rental valuation for this property being an HMO, the smaller rooms would probably rent for around £600 per calendar month, and the larger rooms would rent for around £700 per calendar month.
So happy with the valuations. We envisaged £650 per room, so to get an extra £50 for the bigger rooms is an extra bonus.
If, though, you went with the average of £650 per calendar month per room, that would see a yield of just below 7%, which makes a pretty solid investment that should improve with time. But is he encouraged enough by those figures to carry on?
Yes, definitely. We'll look to rent the property for a few months, and if everything is going well, we're going to invite other people to come in and invest with us, and maybe we'll do another project with other people involved.